Welcome to the Tejswi IP show. In this podcast, we dive into the world of intellectual property like patents, copyright, trademark, geographical indication design, also analyze the recent event in IP world. Today, we're looking at something pretty significant here in India. It's the Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Act, 2023. It actually came into effect for IP laws back on August 1st. So the main idea behind this act is really to boost what they're calling trust-based governance and, well, make doing business easier. It does this by rationalizing and, importantly, decriminalizing certain offenses. That affects quite a few laws, including our core IP ones.
Yeah, that's the key takeaway here. It's a real shift in philosophy, moving away from the older model of potential imprisonment or really hefty fines for some specific IP issues. Instead, it's bringing in more, let's say, proportionate monetary penalties. The thinking is to make compliance, simpler and foster a more business-friendly environment overall.
Right. So it's kind of rebalancing deterrence against ease of doing business. But for you listening in, how does this change things practically? Shifting from maybe jail time to a fine, is it just less intimidating? Or does it actually nudge people towards better IP practices? Let's break it down. How does it hit the specific IP laws? Maybe starting with the Patents Act, 1970. What's interesting there as well, it's not a one-size-fits-all change. For example, someone falsely claims their patent rights. That penalty has shot up a lot, from 1 lakh rupees up to potentially 10 lakh. But then something more administrative, like maybe failing to give certain info to the controller, that penalty has actually come down significantly. Now it's capped at 1 lakh rupees, down from 10 lakh.
Absolutely. And that really shows a clear distinction they're making. Administrative slip-ups. Treated a bit more leniently now, maybe to encourage easier compliance. But deliberately misleading people about patents, that faces much stronger financial consequences. It really underscores the focus on, integrity in the system. And another big thing is the decriminalization piece, like wrongly using the term patent office. That used to be an offense potentially leading to jail. Now, that specific criminal penalty is gone. Also, providing false information used to carry potential jail time, too. Now it's a monetary penalty, which could even be linked to turnover, or up to, I think, 5 crore rupees. Oh, and we're also seeing higher penalties for non-registered patent agents trying to practice. So reinforcing that need for proper credentials.
Okay, and this pattern, this rebalancing act, it's not just for patents, is it? We see similar kinds of adjustments in the Trademarks Act and the Geographical Indications Act, too. Things like decriminalizing specific offenses, maybe falsifying entries in the register or wrongly suggesting a connection to an official IP office.
Precisely. A really important aspect there is the introduction of penalties based on turnover for falsely saying a trademark or a GI is registered when it isn't. So instead of jail or a fixed fine, it could be 0.5% of total sales or turnover, or up to 5 lakh rupees, whichever is less. That definitely changes the calculation for businesses. And there's also quite a jump in the penalty for not providing details about imported goods that have false marks on them. That went from just 500 rupees up to 10,000.
Right. And quickly, the Copyright Act, 1957, also gets tweaked. Notably, penalties for making false statements, like to deceive authorities. Those are omitted now, where previously there was a risk of jail or a fine.
Yeah, that's another interesting shift. But what's really crucial, I think, across all these changes is how enforcement works now. They've introduced new sections setting up clear processes for adjudicating these penalties and appeal mechanisms, too. So it brings a much more structured approach, moving away from potentially long, drawn-out criminal cases towards a more streamlined administrative process. For you, the innovator, the business owner, this generally means less worry about a criminal record for perhaps minor compliance issues, and hopefully a clearer way to resolve things.
Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? This strategic move in India, shifting from criminal charges towards civil or monetary penalties for IP issues. Will it genuinely encourage more innovation? Or does it just, alter the risk-reward calculation for those who might infringe? Something definitely worth thinking about as you navigate this evolving IP landscape. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more upcoming episodes, and at least for reliable and expert intellectual property legal services, contact Tejswi IP today or log on to www.tgsweep.com. Our team of experienced attorneys is dedicated to helping individuals and businesses safeguard their intellectual property rights in the digital age.